What's going on, guys? Brother Russia here, back with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And today we actually have a special video. We have our good friend Proton here to talk about a little bit of the data mining, some link levels, and some questions that you guys had for him. So Proton, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Brother Russia. How you doing? Доброе утро.
Oh, you actually know Russian?
Just a bit. Just the basics.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well,
The more you know.
The more I know. Proton, how's your day going, man?
Doing just fine.
Just fine?
Yeah, just fine.
Ready for...
Just a regular Sunday waiting for news on the Dokkan side.
Oh yeah, we're just waiting for the Beast Gohan hype, right?
Yeah, just the beast going hype.
So Proton, I know a lot of people have some questions for you, regarding everything that you do on the data mining side, myself included. So, I asked on Twitter, I asked on Twitter and basically said, hey, what kind of questions do you guys have for Proton? We had a nice little selection of questions for you. So we're going to ramble them off and, we're going to pick your brain a little bit.
Oh my god, my brain. Not my brain.
Oh yeah, we're picking your brain today. Yeah. So the first question that we have is actually 6 questions that we have. It's going to be from Kaizo. Kaizo asks, question 1, is there any specific reason the merge takes so long to happen?
Well, in theory, the apps are almost identical, so that shouldn't be the issue, but I mean, that still counts. There are subtle changes between the two apps, between Global and JP. It's also not in their best interest to do a banner mashup, but well, they will have to negotiate that eventually. I think the most obvious issue and the most obvious reason why it takes so long to merge, it's the content. Like, Global is behind in world tournaments, battlefields, chain battles, story events, like you name it.
Yeah.
And that's already a big list, but that's not all. Like, considering like the schedules will sync around the 9th anniversary, like mid 9th anniversary. That means Global needs to get the Tanabata before JP.
Yeah,
so,
I did see some people kind of theorize that during the battle hour they were showing that we're gonna get like a Global first. It would make the most sense to actually get like their Tanabata unit first, so that way while we're having like our anniversary and they're having their Tanabata, we're not behind again. You know what I mean? So So I mean, plus we have, obviously they're speeding it up. Like, we got a world tournament coming up, this week again, and who knows?
You can bet we're gonna have like infinite world tournaments, like,
because we're what?
Non-stop world tournament.
We're what, 3 world tournaments behind, right?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna be getting world tournaments like back to back to back, I think, just to get us caught up with JP.
Yeah. You can expect like in the upcoming months, like, not only Global needs to catch up, it needs to get ahead.
Yep.
So they need to speed things up. Yeah. So
that's for sure. They definitely do need to do that. His second question is, how did you get into data mining?
I got into data mining because, well, there's a lot of reasons. I guess it's mostly curiosity, because I like to figure out puzzles and stuff. Probably because of my past in programming.
Okay.
I do believe data mining, for me at least, started when I think I was still playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And I wanted to play the game with Japanese audio, but there was no option for it. And I kind of have to tweak the files a little bit. And what's funny is, like, after I played around with the game files and figured it out, not even 1 week or 2 weeks after that, they gave the players that option. So,
really?
Yeah, that was an amazing waste of time. Uh,
Well, hey, at least
for
it
Dok-
kind of got you into a little bit into it, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, for Dokkan, it was it was different. I didn't really want to get into it, but like after learning the mechanics of the game and helping out people with team building in the subreddit and Facebook groups, I kind of wanted more. So I started playing around with an emulator and Dokkan
Hmm.
and pulling the files and all that. And once I got comfortable with it and set up my methods, and I could actually determine what was new and when. Well, eventually, I think at some point I realized I need to compare the files,
Yeah.
and so we could know exactly what was new, because whenever we get the data download, like we're not just downloading the new stuff, we're downloading a lot of stuff that we had previously. Let's say, for instance, the medals. You get new medals
Hmm.
in the data download. You're
Right.
not just downloading the new medals. You're downloading all the medals because they're all in the same file.
Oh, so
So
so it's actually like one big like
yeah,
data download
it's
then.
one big file. It's like, I think it's like 250 megabytes. The I think it's around 250 megabytes
Hmm.
just for the medals.
Wow,
Just for the medals.
just the medals.
Yeah, and it's probably like a couple, not a couple. It depends on what medals there are there, but it's not even like 1 megabyte of medals. But you have to download the whole thing.
Is it the same?
So
Is it the same for like when a new unit drops? Obviously, you have all of their like assets and everything, but do you have to download every asset for every single unit in the game?
no, 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 no. For cards, it's different.
Okay.
For cards, it's different. That's the this that usually happens with medals, extreme Z battles.
Hmm.
You're also downloading every extreme Z battle whenever we get a new one. So yeah, when I figured that out, like uh, how to separate the two and do a comparison between the two files and checking out what's new and what's not. At that point, it's when I decided my Twitter page would be like a Reader's Digest of every data download. So yeah,
Oh yeah, and hey, we thank you for that. By the way, it actually makes whenever I do like data download videos and stuff like that, I just always go to your profile because I'm like, I know Proton's gonna have everything downloaded in a nice, neat thread, and I can just go down the list and just see exactly what
yeah,
we got.
that was the idea behind it, because I was not about to like post every Extreme Z battle because we had a new one,
Right.
you know.
Well, it also
So yeah,
It also does help when you kind of keep everything in one thread, and you're not just like posting like, hey, we got this new item. Hey, we got this new item. Hey, we got this new little update here, and you have like 15, 17 different like
yeah,
Twitter
it's all in one
Twitter
single.
updates.
Yeah, it's all in one single thread. Yeah, that was the idea behind it. Like, we already had people that post the every little thing, but it's not really organized. So I
Yep.
kind of wanted it to be very easy for the common Dokkan player to check. Hey, what did we get with the data download? So yeah,
Well, hey, you nailed it. That's for sure.
yeah. Thank you.
So the next question that Kaizo had is, what do you enjoy the most in Dokkan right now, and why?
Yeah, I think it's still team building, I guess. Figure out the recipe for success.
Hmm.
Uh, I kind of wish events were a little more specific, like so a few niche cards could get their chance to shine too. Like, I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, to me, nothing beats the moment realization I had with the Tapion cards in the Resurrected Warriors Super Battle Road stage.
Really?
You know, yeah, they were like, is actually like my favorite unit if you ever checked my Dokkan profile. Um, they were not the most powerful cards, but whenever I learned about attack loading and
Yep.
using attack loading in that specific Super Battle Road stage, I was like, man, these are not the most powerful cards, but boy, they are very helpful in trivializing this stage.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you. I think you do play on the JP side, right?
Yeah, I do.
So obviously,
both, yeah.
you've played some of the new difficult events and everything. Like
Yeah,
we
I
got
did.
like we got the new like recent. Obviously, last night we just got the new Trunk stage, the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, the MUI Goku. So like we just got all these stages, and the team building that it takes for some of these is you have to kind of think about it a little bit because that Trunks hits really hard.
Yeah.
I
You look the other way. You can't look the other way for Trunks. He can smoke you in 1 second.
okay, so I actually recorded my Trunks video, Vegeta and Goku. Like I recorded all those. The Trunks is gonna have to wait a little bit because he turned my insides outwards, all 6 times. There's legitimately one part where I brought in the because I brought the physical LR Broly trio in there.
Yeah.
And I was in the second phase, his STR phase. I was full health, everything. He normal one-shot me. He hit me for 735,000 with one normal. It wasn't even a super, it was a normal.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Yeah.
And he hit the Broly, and I was like, I was legitimately like flabbergasted.
What was I supposed to do here? Yeah.
Yeah, like legitimately, I was flabbergasted. I was like, "There's no way. Like, how am I supposed to beat him if he's one shot normaling me right now?"
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
But
He's like the first card to get a regular super, not like a one-shot super, but a regular super attack with 3 million attack stat. Kind of insane. Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely an insane fight. But I'm kind of glad that Dokkan did do a nice update like this to where they made like difficult fights like this. Because we've been asking for that. Obviously we had some harder fights with like Zamasu and Omega Shenron and whatnot, but I think this Trunks and the new like Gogeta, I think they might take the cake on this.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of inevitable, like it's inevitable. This is power creep. Like
Yep.
if we're getting brand new shiny units, we're gonna have brand new shiny bosses. So
Well, we definitely got some brand new shiny bosses, that's for sure.
yeah.
So Proton, the next thing that Kaizo wants to know from you is what changes you would like to see in Dokkan in the future.
Pity for all banners.
Pity for all banners. I am on board. I'm on board with that one. Is there anything else you'd like to see?
Just think about it. Like being a free-to-play or a low spender, or even a dolphin sometimes. Like, obviously, this is not an issue for whales. You're gonna summon until you get the brand new unit, right?
Yeah,
But
who would ever do
until you
that?
rainbow, actually, until you rainbow.
Who would ever do
Like,
that?
yeah, you would never. But just think about it. That there's like no worse feeling than going to a celebration with like 2,000 or 3,000 stones and getting out of it without the new shiny toys,
Yeah, and that's the thing is there are some people that have
Like,
terrible luck
yeah.
like that, like legitimately.
Statistically, like it's unlikely to go into the celebration with 2,000 or 3,000 stones and you don't get anything. But as unlikely as it is, it can happen, and if it happens, it sucks.
Yeah.
I think that bad RNG like drives the average player away from the game, and I don't think like pity for all banners would be that harmful for their revenue. Like you would still spend like what 5,000 stones per card.
Hey, listen.
Like in the worst.
Not all of us, but some of us will, but not a lot
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, what is it? Would you say that they should have a pity system in place to be able to like get all copies, or just like how we have it right now with like the yellow coin?
Not for all copies. Just the first copy.
The first copy. So kind of like how we have it right now with like the yellow coin banners.
Yeah. Exactly like that. I don't think it should be for all copies because that would suck for their revenue. Yeah, but that first copy, I absolutely believe it's necessary for all banners. Like,
I think it might be something that they may implement in the future. I think maybe they wanted to at least test out
yeah,
like
right.
the yellow coin one and see how well that performed first.
Yeah, obviously that's not gonna happen right now. They're doing great. Like they're like the
That's
current banner is like the ninth best banner of all time, or
yeah,
the
and
banners, plural.
and they're still going, right? Like they're
And
still
they're
like
still
increasing.
going. And it's gonna rise. I think it will be like top 6 or top 5.
You think
I believe.
how do you like just this is complete different question. How do you think the Beast Gohan and the Gammas are gonna do compared to Broly and Gogeta?
I think they're gonna be at the same level. Obviously, not going to reflect on the numbers presented by on that website, because the way they count the revenue, like there's no way they can know uh, where people are spending their stones.
Right.
They only know people are buying stones, right? That the game is getting revenue, and when they account for that, they try to make a 50-50 split for the current banners. So whatever we get from now until the end of an anniversary, they will split between the two banners. So it's inevitable that the banner from Beast Gohan will never surpass the first banner because they're gonna be up all the time.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if maybe they were able to see like obviously like once part 2 starts they're gonna have a huge increase in sales because obviously there's gonna be new sales that come out.
Yeah, that will happen, but it's gonna be divided between the two banners. So in a few days, they will probably start making like, I don't know, 2 billion or 3 billion yen per banner. When in reality they can't determine that. They only know that they made like 6. Imagine they make like 6 billion in one day. They will attribute 3 billion to one banner and 3 billion to another.
Gotcha.
That's how they calculate it.
So regardless, they're still gonna split it up no matter how well one part of the celebration does or the other.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, the next thing Kaizo likes to know, what do you like the most about data mining?
Honestly, it's the human element behind it. Like, what do I mean by that? It's a game, but it's still coded by people, and people make mistakes.
Right.
And the reason I take my time with data mining and only post the data download like roughly 30 minutes to 60 minutes after it happens, it's because I realize Akatsuki staff is only human and they make mistakes. During that time I'm actively looking for anything out of the ordinary whenever the data download hits. So that's why even though most of the data download process is automated at this point, I still take that much time to tweet everything because I'm looking for everything. Like I'm going through all the changes in the database, all the files all the new files we got, like
trying to find the small little updates here and there, kind of like with the LR Super Saiyan Blue, Kaioken, Goku, and Vegeta. I think you were the one that found that they had updated their like assets or something.
Yeah, I think it was the battle assets. I kind of forget.
Yeah,
I think it was the battle.
I think it was either the battle asset or the sprites. Yeah, the sprites were updated, and it was just kind of like random because it had nothing to do with the celebration at the time either.
Yeah, and just before the UI Goku, that was also a thing. And what more? Oh yeah, what's it called? The Rose LR.
Yeah.
That was also like in the data before it. Yeah,
that was actually funny because I think that was in JP data download, not global, which was I think that's what it was, right? Like global actually didn't mess that one up that time.
I think it was a global mess up, but there have been a lot of JP mess ups.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they're human. Like, stuff's gonna happen. Yeah. Unfortunately, some small things will fall through the crack, and unfortunately, the global side just gets a lot of the flack for it because a lot of the data downloads have, global stuff in there where they're just like, hey, we accidentally put this in here. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, that happens, and that's honestly what I enjoyed the most about it. Like looking through everything and seeing, haha, they missed this one.
I think you did that. You did that too with the future Android 17 and 18, like the sub EZAs, because I think that was that was in that was in the JP data download from before, like way before like Android 21 even dropped, and it was actually before Worldwide Celebration. And we thought maybe something was going to happen with them then, and then nothing happened with them during the Worldwide.
Nothing happened for a while, yeah.
So
that was funny. Everyone was speculating, oh, it's got to be the Androids. It's got to be the Androids now. And it took forever for the EZAs to be released.
Yeah. And I mean, they finally did release them, but it actually went quite a while afterwards.
Yeah. It's always fun to find that kind of stuff. That's honestly what I enjoy the most about data mining, is finding that stuff. Like for instance, what did we have today on the JP side?
A lot.
You can't use the boost for the new super mineral water.
Yeah, the superhero event. Yeah.
That's honestly that is a mistake by their part. It's honestly just the enable boost, or I think it's the boostable field in that event is not. There's a flag for it, and it was 0. And the only change they have to do is put a 1 in there.
A 1, yeah. Turn it on or turn it off.
yeah, turn on and turn off, and that happens all the time, and that's the stuff I like the most. Yeah.
Well, that's understandable because I also have a little bit of a coding background. So when I see something like that, I'm like, wow, they literally just forgot to legitimately turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah.
So it is kind of funny seeing that because I actually ran that event last night when I was recording the video, and I went back to like do the boost because I was like, wow, you got to run this like 30 times. There's a lot of good stuff in the item shop. And then I was like, wait, where's the boost?
Yeah, they're nowhere to be seen.
And then I had seen on Twitter, it popped up and said that I think the news came out like afterwards and said that it was a bug and that they were going to fix it.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a bug. They just forgot about that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, they're going to say it's a bug, but we both know what it is.
Yeah.
All right, and the last question from Kaizo here. What are your thoughts on the removal of Chain Battle, and what would you like to see as a replacement?
The infamous...
the infamous question.
The infamous question. I think it was a bad decision, honestly. I think Chain Battle was more enjoyable and less time consuming than World Tournament and Patton Battle combined.
100%.
Like,
you know me. I love my Chain Battle.
Yeah, I do love it because I only had to like run it for like 5 minutes and
get the best
forget
rewards,
about
right?
it for the day. Yeah, and for the best rewards and all.
I mean,
I heard the argument that we shouldn't have like to rely on outside sources in order to do well in Chain Battle. Hi, Ningen. And it's kind of silly because we already use outside sources for everything else. Like, the game doesn't spoon feed us all with all the info, you know?
Right.
We have to figure it out. So, and once we do figure it out, there's no in-game chat or anything. Like, it's a collective experience that we get to share in the subreddit, the Dokkan Wiki, Discord, Instagram, I don't know, Facebook if you're a boomer, whatever. Sometimes you don't even need to experience it and like use awesome tools like Dokkan Info or the Dokkan Wiki. The new Dokkan Wiki, the Fiving 6 Dokkan Wiki.
Yep.
So yeah, I think overall, I think it's a bad decision. I think they should have tweaked the event, or at least try to tweak the event first before getting rid of it. I think it's a bad decision to just get rid of it and not try something different with it.
Right, and then I mean, I've done a few of these videos where I've kind of talked about it as well. Like personally, I think what they should have done was they should have at least, when they're doing these like player surveys, they should have asked more questions about chain battle, and then would have asked like, hey, what kind of changes would you like to see, and give us like, give us some ideas on changes.
I never saw like anything, like no questions about it.
Yeah,
like ever.
Like I think, well, there was actually one time I did see one question about chain battle in one of the surveys. I can't remember which one it was. I actually think it was I think it was after the 8th anniversary questionnaire that they had. I believe they asked, like within chain battle, there was I remember there was an option to be able, like, I think they asked if you wanted to use your own units.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually like one of the questions that they had, like, hey, would you want to be able to use your own units in chain battle? And obviously I was like, yes, I would like to use my own units, because why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
But
at the same time, you get to think about the other people that don't whale on the game, and for those people that was an excellent system. Like, you don't have to whale on, that other people do.
Yeah, and the biggest argument that I always saw was it's a whale mode. It's a whales mode. The whales are the ones getting 1%. Blah 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 blah. But realistically, the biggest issue that Dokkan fumbled with in that was the lack of the in-game like chat system. Because you know what I mean? Because like, yes, you know, there are people that are struggling with chain battle, and I understand that, because a lot of them don't understand it, because one, how they describe chain battle within their directions and descriptions is awful, and for two, it took like a lot of outside sources to be able to create these nice charts. You know, thankfully we had, you know, Piccolo Sama, we had Misaka that was able to help us out. You know, they made these nice charts for us, so we knew like what units to use, who's the best attackers, connectors, you know, like what to look for.
But to be fair, that happens with every event, right? Like, we always go to outside sources to figure all that out.
Right, so... but I think what other people complained about was the fact that in order to get this help, you needed to be friends with these whales, and there are people out there that are like, hey, I'm not gonna friend this person. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. You know, hey, I'm level 999, and you know, I'm a massive whale. You know, I need to use my cards, not other people's cards. Yeah. You know, this level 150 person that just started out, you know, they need help, and I'm not gonna help them. Like, you know, that's why we created like the Discord that we did, was to help all those players. You know, the ones that were struggling, the ones that couldn't hit 1%. We literally just threw ourselves out there like, hey, here you go. We're opening up friend spots every single day to help you guys get 1%. You know what I mean? Like, and other people still complained about that. Like, I don't get it. Like, what more help do you guys want?
Ironically, this was the game mode that made the best use out of the broken friend system.
Yeah, it's the legitimately, like, between you and I right now, what other use do we have for the friend system right now with chain battle being gone? Nothing.
Friend points, I guess.
The friend points for the friend LR that we're never gonna get again, right? You know what I mean? Like there's just it was just like the mode itself was actually really good. Like, if you kind of broke it down, you understood it, you would actually enjoy the mode. And I think the reason why we enjoyed it so much was because, you know, within the Discord we had all these people.
We went the extra mile.
Yeah, we went the extra mile. We went the extra mile to figure it out, and then we also went the extra mile to have fun and compete against each other, to get that highest score, to kind of have that bragging rights for, you know, for this chain battle or for that chain battle. And, you know, with them removing it, it's kind of like, it's unfortunate, really.
Watch them like figure out a new game mode that's even worse.
Hey, you know what would be even worse? They should implement guilds, make guild battles, and let us fight other guilds in a chain battle style, or actually like a raid style, we should say. Like, kind of like how you do like the raid EZA, or like the raids that you do on like Legends. Kind of do something like that, where, you know, the new unit will do X amount more damage to the raid boss compared to, you know, whatever other units you use. And yeah, let me just go ahead and rainbow all those units. Let me go get my top 50 whales into my guild, and then let us, you know, compete for that #1 spot and gatekeep it for the rest against everybody else forever.
I can't wait for that train wreck.
Hey, trust me, I will make sure that you're in the guild with me. We'll gatekeep 1% forever.
Okay. I'm good. I'm good with it then. Yeah.
Well, you know, those were the questions from Kaizo. The next one we have is from Radukin. He says he's not going to go too in depth with how the process works, but how's the data accessible to data miners, and what it's described on it, like files showing an EZA for a character or an upcoming character.
Well, hi Raudo. Very familiar name. I mean, Dokkan is a fairly secure app, so to speak, at least compared to others. The data is not easily accessible, and you really need to go out of your way to get it. Like, just from the top of my head, like unlocking the bootloader, root the phone, then hide the root because Dokkan has root detection, then bypassing SSL pinning, past Google's verification, Google Play's verifications.
Yep.
I think that's it. And then you need to capture the requests, so it's quite a journey. So the process is quite the journey, and then like to figure out how everything is described in the data, I would say like 90% of the info comes from the database. The remaining 10% is comprehending like the Dokkan's folder structure and where every asset should be. Like for example, when Int LR Rose's Extreme Z Battle was leaked,
yep,
via the achievement asset, like that allowed us to know what card was getting the EZA and what was the idea of the Extreme Z Battle, but that was about it. Like every other information had to come late, like in a new data download later. In a new data download.
And that's where we were able to get like the image for that EZA,
just
right?
the image. That was it. Like, and that only showed us like first it was Rose that was getting it, and second because of the naming of the name of the file, we were able to know what Extreme Z Battle it was. But everything else we figured out with the proper data download, with all the assets and database update, in order to know all the info around it.
Okay. So you actually take the time, like every single, like you said, every data download that comes in, you go through every single file that came through just to see what's been updated?
Yeah. I mean, I have most of it like automated, but I still need to compare a few things. So that's why I usually take around 30 minutes to 1 hour to check everything, and like the assets themselves, they're not really the issue. It's more like the database. The database gets huge chunks of information with every data download. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we had another question. This was actually from Colin in the Discord server. He says he doesn't have Twitter, but could you ask Proton, why does the game still need to remove an event in order to update it with the new content, while other gachas do not need to do that and just simply implement
it? Good question. Well, the reality is like that's also true for Dokkan. Like they don't need to remove an event in order to update it, but yeah, it can be available as soon as the data download hits. I think like my guess is they remove it in order to test a few settings. And my guess is that because there was a table in the server-side database that was leaked a few years ago that was called Quest Test Settings, and it's not usually in the client side. So yeah, there's a table called Quest Test Settings.
Yep.
And I do remember like a few months ago, like I'm sure like every global player remembers about this, when we had like the World Tournament postponed.
Yep.
and we never got a confirmation on what card exactly caused the issue.
Yep, I remember that.
But guess what? In the server-side database, there is also a table called Budokai test settings. Budokai is the world tournament for JP.
Yep.
So like in that period, like something went terribly wrong in the testing, and I guess like it's like they said, like due to fairness, we're postponing the world tournament. So to sum it up, I think like they don't do it immediately because they do need to test a few things out before they release it to the public. But they can absolutely like release it once the data download it.
Okay, so essentially, they don't need to, but they're doing it just to kind of test the event, make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Or you know they'll mess up and you know they'll drop the Harudegarn event and not the Super Saiyan 3 Goku event.
Yeah.
Like
because why not?
Like they did during the New Year's celebration.
Yeah, they definitely didn't test that one out, or if they did, like they were like blindfolded or something.
Yeah, either that or like we said, you know, the one person forgot to turn the 1 into a 0 in the table.
Yeah.
And turn it off.
yeah, they're only human. They're gonna make mistakes. So we kind of forget about that sometimes. Like there's people like working in this, and they're just as prone to mistakes as we are.
Yep. Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen with everybody.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah, you enjoy it though.
Yeah, I do.
You enjoy finding. You enjoy the findings.
I think it's fun.
Well, hey, this next one, I'm gonna combine the two questions because we have a question from Quentin and from I think it's Mikkel is how you say his name. Mikkel asks, can you talk about Dokkan storage? And then Quentin actually had a question with that as well. He said it would be a good idea to expose why the game size is so big and how it could be fixed.
It can't be fixed. I'm sorry. we're too far into the game to fix that. Like I would say like it's 12. I think it's 12 gigabytes of pure awesomeness.
It's like 13 or 14 now.
Yeah. Okay. Like if you do a fresh installation, it's probably around like 11 or 12 gigabytes. So I know.
So do you think like if they say when they merge, like essentially merge the games together, if they were to just make one app and kind of like clean it up a little bit more, do you think that would be the way to go, or do you think it's just there's too many files in the game for obviously it's a 9-year-old game now?
There's too many files in the game, honestly. I think like they'll keep going until it's like unbearable, until it's like 20 gigabytes or something like.
Until like, an old phone just won't even be able to hold a game anymore.
I think that's an issue. Like it's 12 gigabytes. It could be less if their asset management was a little bit better, because of all the repeated assets. Like you can get like the same card art in the card itself, in Awakening medals, in EZA medals, in Extreme Z battles, scripted events. Funny enough, like usually the card itself is the one that gets the worst quality assets.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I understand this can be a problem for people with older devices and low internal storage, but they kind of had to go with the internal storage to protect their game. You know, because if every person was able to access a game that was installed in the the micro SD card or whatever.
Yep.
Like people would get the files and everything was public, everyone knew about it, so they kind of had to protect their game in that way.
I get that.
Well, people still get around it, yes, but they have to go through a lot to get there, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of hoops you guys have to jump through, huh?
Yeah, a lot.
So is that kind of why they don't have like a HD version of like these cards, like card arts? Why? Because if they gave if they gave us an HD like update or something, I think
everyone keeps asking about that. It's not that like it's not that hard, and it wouldn't like be that much of a difference. I would say like in those 12 gigabytes or 14 gigabytes, like roughly around 60% of it is for card animations only. Like
Okay.
it's not about the cards, the card arts or the extreme Z battles or easy A medals or whatever. That like it's probably around 8 gigabytes of animations only. That's what's taking all this space.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, with
Getting an
all
option
the
with
new
for
animations we have now is pretty ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, it's around. I think it's 8 gigabytes. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's what's taking up all the Dokkan storage. It's not like an HD card, like having an HD card uh, setting wouldn't break the game because of it. Like
Hmm.
that's not gonna like make the Dokkan impossible to have on your phone. It's the animations that that are doing that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have the intro animations, we have domains, we have the actual like we have active skill animations, we have the actual
Yeah.
animations of every unit. Plus, you have to think
I
about
don't.
how many units we have in the game
Yeah.
now.
Like, have you actually looked into the animations for like, for example, for Ultimate Gohan when he goes beast and he throws the Makanko Sapo and all that?
No,
If you
but I
look,
can imagine there's a lot of different like.
oh, it's literally a slideshow of that moment in the movie. Like there's like no moving. There are a few moving parts, but it's essentially like a slideshow of that moment in the movie.
Wow. Well, I remember. I think it was actually what was it during the 6th year anniversary when we got like the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta and the MUI Goku. It wasn't
Mm.
there like pages of the Vegeta animation, and that's what was causing like I think what was it like the private servers and stuff were having trouble keeping up with like doing additional attacks. There was like you would slow down, it would just give you it would just like freeze for a second before it would like load the next one back up.
Oh.
Do you,
I think that was just like an issue with the calculations for the attack stat of the next attack, I believe.
oh, okay.
I believe that was it. Yeah, yeah. But I do remember that. Yeah.
I was gonna say
Like
because I remember because it would like freeze, and
yeah,
then it would go.
cards with multiple attacks have like insane calculations behind it. Like they have to calculate one super attack, then they have to go through this RNG process if they get another attack, and
Yeah.
if it's a super attack, then they have to calculate the attack stat for that super attack, and then to apply it to the boss, and just the more attacks a card has, the more calculations the game is gonna do, and the slower it will run.
Yep. Well, I can definitely say when you're using like Broly's domain and his active skill, you're definitely getting a little bit of slowdown.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I didn't pull it.
Aw. So, Proton. The next question we
Definitely.
have is from Joe Sayan. He says,
No saying.
I've got a few questions. One, is every data download the same process, or is there ever any change that makes one different than the other?
And I have a few answers. um, is every data download the same process? Well, the way you request the data and intercept it, it's always the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's the content. It's like the content that makes the experience different. You know. For example, if we get a data download that has assets for a new mechanic in a folder where we rarely get updates, or even a new folder, or sometimes tables and entries in or new entries in the database. Like since it's something different and I'm not used to look for that, usually it delays my data download thread. So I guess the short answer for all that is the process is always the same, but not really.
The process of getting the data download is the same, but
Yeah, the
actually,
process
but actually
is always the same.
filtering through it all is different.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. And then Next question is, do you feel like a digital ninja when you get the downloads decrypted?
That's funny. Yeah, I feel like Donatello or uh, what's it called? Uh, Shikamaru or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like a ninja when I found those little mistakes. Like, if for everything else, like there's the other data miners that do it automatically, so the, you can just see their info. But like when I spot those little mistakes, yeah, I do feel like an ninja.
I was gonna say, I think like Harry Turney, his like updates automatically, so like everything just feeds
Yeah.
right to his Twitter like right away as soon as the data downloads come in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, same for the Thieving 6. Yeah. It's the
yeah,
same, yeah.
but it is nice, like with like you said with you, we're able to see like any kind of differences that you may be able to spot, you know, that isn't going to be on a normal, you know, the within like the main thing of a data download. You know, once we get like Beast Gohan and stuff like that, yeah, you know, his animations are going to be there, his card art's going to be there. If the banner's animated, we'll see that. But, you know, if there's a, I don't know, if there's a script update or something for MUI Goku's, you know, super attack effect or anything, then you could be like, hey, we got his EZA coming.
Yeah.
So,
It's exactly like that. I always say this, like if you want speed, you should definitely check those two out, like Thieving 6 and their Return. They did an amazing job with their websites.
yep.
And they automatically tweet.
They tweet their
I think
updates.
it's like, yeah, they tweet their updates automatically. So yeah, they're definitely the go-to guys for that. But like, I'll take an hour or so, and if I do find something, I will let everyone know.
Yep.
And yes, I will feel like a ninja. Yeah.
Beautiful. And then the last question he has is, do you have alarms for when data downloads happen?
I don't have alarms for the exact time the data download drops, but they're very consistent, like when it comes to their data download periods.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm usually up a few minutes before that period. But thanks to the alarms, of course, I'm not a machine that just shows up whenever data download happens. Like usually wake up like 10 to 20 minutes before it happens.
You just awaken from your slumber and you're just like, I'm here.
Yeah, like a zombie.
Just combing through every single piece of data that came through to be like, yes, I found that one information that wasn't in the normal download.
Now everyone will know.
And that actually, it's funny, that kind of goes into the next question that we got from DBC Archie. Do you ever sleep?
I do. Well, thanks, Archie. I guess. Yeah, I do sleep. It's a very like erratic, so to speak, sleep pattern. But I do sleep a lot, like 8 to 9 hours. I try to sleep 8 to 9 hours.
So you're normal.
Yeah, I'm normal, but it's just the sleep pattern, like the sleep pattern that's just ridiculous.
So it's kind of like you get your sleep, you kind of wake up before a data download, you get that information, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah, if I know like something is gonna happen, I usually like get to bed on my local 10 p.m. or even earlier.
Yep.
So then I wake up at 2 a.m. Because that's when locally the JP data download happens.
Right.
I wake up at that time and wait for the request for the data download and go from there. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So next we have a question from DBC Instant Alex. He says, I don't understand why Global literally copies and pastes file from Japanese data downloads, sometimes copying errors, without modifying files. Do you think after the sync, data mining will be harder to do? Or do you think maybe they'll try to take the action and release data downloads after reveals?
I think they will take action and release data downloads after reveals. They're already doing that with this celebration.
Yep.
As for why it's mostly copies, like most of global's data downloads are copy paste because and huge data dumps also. Uh, it's the main reason. It's because the apps are essentially the same, but you have to make sure that with each data download nothing breaks. So they usually do huge data dumps for global just to make sure everything runs smoothly. Even if the data dumps are like in pure Japanese and nothing's translated, they have to do it just for the sake of the game, like for the game's health, so nothing breaks. They after that they usually translated the info in the database, the assets as they need, but sometimes like copying errors is also inevitable because some of the errors like usually are related to the app and not the info in the data download itself. So that's something that needs to be solved with backend code. So an app update is like absolutely necessary to fix that issue.
So you're saying like some of those errors that we get, like when they're still in like the Japanese form, is because we haven't got the app update yet that the Japanese version already got.
Yeah, it might be one of the reasons those things like keep happening, because we need to go through the same process of app updates they have, and usually that process usually fix those issues. If it's not something that can be fixed with data downloads, that usually keeps happening on global. But if it's something that's usually fixable with data downloads, they usually fix it.
The only time they ever, so whenever they have a major issue is when they have an app update.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time that happened.
I'm sure they usually have to do an app update whenever they implement any kind of new system or new,
it's usually reserved
new system,
like for new
systems,
mechanics,
new skills, mechanics, and stuff like that, right?
and they do small revisions just to correct some issues. But like that's usually why we get those errors. It's not like they want to copy those errors. they need to copy those errors so they later fix them in global's very own app. So yeah.
Gotcha.
I also don't think data mining will be any different after the two versions get synced up. You know.
Yes. You think it's supposed to be the
They
same?
will still be the separated apps.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the data mining process will be the same. Like unless like Google Play's verification process like changes dramatically, it will still be the same. At least for global, it's kind of irrelevant because we don't really have a verification process. Like
Right.
everyone gets in the game, even if you're using an emulator, you can still get in the game. But for JP, that's not really the case. They go through all these barriers, verifications, so you're allowed into the game. But I don't think data mining will be all that different after the schedule sync.
Do you think that the data downloads will be like on the same time frame together, or do you think they'll
I hope so.
Or do you think that they're gonna do like a
so.
global data download and then like
No,
3 hours later
no,
do like
please,
a JP one?
please at the same time. Please, I beg you, Dokkan.
Because
Don't do this to me. I don't want to wake up at 2 a.m. and then 5 a.m. just for data downloads. I don't want to do that.
Well, I want to say I think that happened like during like Worldwide Celebration, didn't it? Where I think like one version got the data download and then the next one got it like a few hours later. Or it was like, or like the information was in one version and it wasn't in. I think Global got like the information first for like celebration details, and then like a few hours later, JP got theirs. So hopefully they'll sync that together to just drop at the same time.
Yeah, hopefully they think of people like me and Ari and Thieving Six.
I don't think they think about you guys, unfortunately.
No, I don't think
as much as we love you guys and appreciate what you guys do, I don't think that they appreciate what you guys do. But I mean, you guys,
like, be
do
positive.
actually.
I think they don't even know we exist. like be positive about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but at the same time, if they do know that you guys exist, maybe they are, banking on the fact that you guys are dropping these data downloads, getting the hype out there with all these new units and everything, and maybe that helps with the summoning and everything. You know what I mean?
Imagine some of those mistakes were on purpose.
Oh,
like just
to get the hype up.
Yeah, just to get the hype up. Like imagine that that asset for the rose
Yep.
was there on purpose so people would talk about it, so they get their hype up for the celebration, because at that point we were like, oh man, there's no rose new card, oh my god, this sucks.
And then we got this
drop
Dokkan
the asset
Fest Goku
there
Black.
so they can keep talking about it and get their hype up, so we make a few more dollars with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? They might. Maybe they are smart and maybe they do something like that and we just don't know.
It's the 5-head play.
It is a 5-head play. They're playing 2D chess with us.
Yeah.
All right. So next we have a question from Mr. T Backpack. He's got 2 questions.
Backpack. Wow.
Yeah. Is there anything in the data for potential full auto in Dokkan, meaning we can select the amount of runs we want to do and then let it run on the background?
No, there's nothing like that.
Nothing like that?
At least for now. That it's certainly not impossible, or even hard to implement. But they need to hear players' opinions and requests about it on that, so they can work on app updates to implement it. But right now, there's nothing to suggest like that we're gonna get like a full auto for Dokkan. Not for now.
Okay. And then the next question he has is there anything in the data for skipping summon animations or active skill animations?
Oh. No, there's nothing like that for that either.
No. Well, I know I know they have the active skill like skip. They do have that, but
yeah, they do have that. It's not the same. Yeah.
But like, do you know why? I obviously you probably wouldn't know why, but I was more confused on why they put every single animation into like one button, whereas before they had like the animation for like what was it, like intros and for active skills. Like, why don't they just separate those, like that, support memories, like anything that has an animation, like which ones you want to turn on, which ones you want to turn off?
I don't know. I think it's like because like you wouldn't get a cluster of options. Like imagine like if you want to skip all animations, most of the time people either want to see all animations or they're just fed up with it and just want to get it over with and do their record run on that stage, you know. So they I think they probably went with that. Like people are either wanting to see all the animations or they don't want to see them at all. So let's just put this all in one button and get it out of the way, you know. It's funny, like it's funny. That's a funny question about the skipping summon animation too. Because we just recently got the skip summon animation, an unintended skip, but yeah, I'm sure many people experienced it with Gogeta and Broly banners.
Yeah, I did see some people actually, it did happen to them where they went to go summon and all of a sudden it was just boom, the animation was there. Or the animation was skipped and boom, they just had they just showed what units they got and they're like, what?
Yeah. Everyone was like, what happened?
You know what?
Well,
maybe they're testing it out and this was a mess up test.
Nah, that was just an error. Nah, no, I can't say that was on purpose because that was an extra line in the summon animations. Like when you got to a particular combo of characters flying in, once it fulfilled that condition, that extra line would crash the intended animation. So you just jump straight to the summon results.
Gotcha.
But like, if you can do that unintentionally with extra lines, I'm pretty sure they can do that with a simple tap on the screen. So if people like bitch about it, so to speak. I'm sure they will implement something like that in the future.
I mean, they have the skip button already to like skip support memories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have to be able to do that for summon animations.
Well, I get it. Why? Well, some people just want to get that thing like over with. Like people summon like people that summon for a rainbow from
Yep.
day one. They just want to go to the end result. They just want to see that brand new unit, go to the next summon and all that.
That's me.
Mostly, yeah. That's mostly a whale problem, you know. I believe that's why they didn't like implemented it yet, because that's mostly a whale problem. Like the average player like really is really hoping for that animation to signify that they're getting the new unit, or that they're getting like a featured unit, you know. For those people, for the majority of people, like summon animations are a core part of the summoning process.
Yeah, I mean, if they did it like Legends style, you know, where you were able to skip it after the like maybe like when the animation happens, like like if you have like a Beerus and Whis fly in together, you're gonna get a Whis animation. You might not skip that. Like, hey, you got a Whis animation.
Yeah, you want to see this.
You want to see it, but if I have 18 and Majin Buu fly in together, I don't want to see that. I know it's gonna be shit. I just want to skip and go to the next one.
And then you skip it, and you get like 3 brand new units.
But you know what? That happens on Legends as well. But Legends implemented it where you like the first time you get that unit, it automatically shows you. You have to go through and like, or I guess you don't go through, but it'll skip to that unit and you'll actually get it, so you know that you got it.
Yeah.
But apparently, what you can do, I think if you download all data, or whatever, I think then it'll skip past it. But like, we know Dokkan's not gonna do anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, my best recommendation, like course of action, is like for whales to complain about it. We want to skip animation, like we just want to get to the next summon as quickly as possible, and please like remove the limitation on the number of extra cards we can have before summoning again, because that usually breaks the summon pattern. I know.
Yes.
Truth
runs into it. I even run into it.
Yeah, every whale runs into that problem, because yeah, let's face it, you guys are there for the rainbow, and you want a rainbow as soon as possible. So yeah.
Well, let me tell you, when you hit that limit, like legitimately, when you hit that limit and you're 500 over what your box space is, you're just sitting there like, I have been summoning for way too long.
Go through all that. Ugh.
Yeah, and it's like they should also make a like sell all SR button. Just get rid of all SRs. Like, just let me Baba every single one of them with one button and just be done with it.
Yeah,
because going through like the way that
SRs are mostly useless. Yeah,
well, the way that we had it before, where you could sit there and like individually tap on every single unit, and like
it was better, right?
Yeah, you could like you could fly through the entire box like quickly. Now you have to sit there and you have to click on one max, go to okay, go to the next one, max, okay, max, okay. Like you have to keep doing that, and it's actually really annoying.
Too many taps. Yeah, too many taps. Yeah.
Well. We have another question. This is coming from Yusuf TBS from Twitter. Yusuf asks, why are EZAs not recommended and tossed like trash from Dokkan itself? It's kind of like you just play until the stones are collected, and he thinks that we need like every 100 levels, we get 5 more stones or something, and at level 999 you get 20 stones to revive the hype about the EZA stages. And you say, what are our thoughts for that?
So people just don't simply go until level 40 and then forget about it. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, if they have an escalation of difficulty all the way to level 999, like, then there should be extra rewards associated to that effort of getting all the way up there. Not just Hercule statues, like, we're sick of that. Everyone has Hercule statues. But that's, at the same time, I kind of see that that was not their intent from the start. They didn't want players to have an almost endless pool of free-to-play stones at their disposal. Like, we have well over 100 Extreme Z battles at this point.
Yep.
And we
But-
can't forget this is the business for them.
But some of those actually do get pretty difficult because I mean you can go up to like level 77.
yeah.
Some of them you go up to level 77 to get the title at least. But there are some of them, like I think I remember the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and the STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku. When you get up to about that level 77, it actually does get pretty difficult. Like especially when you're fighting two of them and not one, it changes up a little bit.
It does, yeah.
But
I can see, like, I can see. I do agree that we need some extra rewards for that. But I wouldn't even say stones. I would say like
even like training items. Like how we do, like how we got the raid EZAs.
Yeah.
Just give us like training items all the way to 999.
Training
you
items,
know what I mean?
or I don't know. If you reach like level 500, you get special skill orbs or something. I do agree that just Hercule statues is a little bit like unfair for all the effort associated to getting to those levels.
Yep. And to me personally, I just think it's boring. Like
I do too.
like I know, you know, there are some people that are hardcore grinders, and you know, I got respect for you guys to grind those stages to 999. I personally just can't do it. I did it one time for the original family Kamehameha units, and I think it was that and Broly were the only two that I ever did. And well, other than the All-Star event, not the Wrathful Broly, the original Broly.
Okay. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
The original STR one.
The original Broly was at the time of the release, it was a real pain.
Yeah.
Because there were not many, like, what was it, like hybrid Saiyans or something?
I think it is AGL hybrid hybrid Saiyans, or no.
Yeah.
He was hybrid Saiyans. But I think back then, like the best unit that came out at the time was the AGL LR Goten and Trunks.
Yeah.
That was the new unit that came out that you needed around that time to actually help.
And they
you.
were still getting smacked sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you know what, though? I will say, I don't think anything was actually harder than the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku when that EZA first dropped. And you had to use resurrected warriors, and there was only one leader, and that was the Int Golden Frieza that had just dropped. So if you didn't pull for him, it was actually kind of difficult.
Yeah, the golden times of Devilman.
Yeah, and then afterwards they're like, no more Devilman.
No more Devilman. You got enough leaders as it is. Now you do it without him. Yeah.
Yeah, no
I
more.
remember that.
No more automatic one shot.
Yeah, I have to admit, like the last 3 levels for Broly, I had to use Devilman. I just couldn't do it like regularly. I had to use Devilman at that point.
I actually, so at the time I didn't pull, because this was like before my big whaling days, I didn't pull the AGL LR Goten and Trunks. So I had to use a friend. I had to keep finding friends that had it. And that was the only way that I was able to actually do it.
Yeah.
So,
Then you got yourself an oil field, and there you go.
Yeah, then I got an oil field, and everything else kind of just fell from there, huh?
Yeah.
So wow, the volume on my phone just went absolutely crazy right there.
Bananas.
So the next question that we have is from, well, this is from Joe Bain, but we already answered this one. He asked what got you into data mining, which you had already answered for us.
Yeah.
We got a question from
curiosity. Let's go with curiosity.
Curiosity. We got a question from Obito-sama. He's saying, any evidence in the data mine that might suggest we get a pity on all banners one day?
No.
No.
There's nothing like that. No.
There you go. Nice and easy. No.
Nice and short. No, there's nothing that suggests that. No.
Okay.
They're simply a coin, and they usually associate like the summoning banner with the cards that we summon from that banner to the summon coin. So if that ever happens, we'll never see it coming.
Gotcha. Well, I guess you may not know this one, but we have a question from Milk Wizard. Is there anything?
Milk Wizard.
Yep. Is there anything hinting towards an LR Kid Buu?
No, there's nothing like that. Oh man.
No, okay.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say like the eternal shotgun farmer with the shotgun.
Nope, even worse.
But yeah, Kid Buu also works. Yeah.
I think the one main villain from one of the main villain arcs that doesn't have an LR yet.
Yeah, it's LR Kid Buu.
LR Kid Buu.
Imagine they just make him a friend summon or something.
Do you want people to go in a frenzy? Because that's what would happen. People would absolutely lose their shit.
I want to see ups and downs. Like I like that stuff. Like I like to see how Homatsu will handle that kind of those kind of situations.
Well, I feel like he also knows that people want an LR Kid Buu, and I think this might be the year we get one.
It might, yeah.
Because
I think like
there's a lot of EZAs coming up for Buu Saga units, so I think this might be the year.
It might, yeah. I do believe this is the year of LR Kid Buu.
I hope so.
Hashtag LR Kid Buu 2024.
2024.
It's like Kid Buu is running for office or something. I don't know.
Well, we have a question from, well, I guess it's not really a question, more of maybe like a small request. This is coming from Hamid on Twitter. He's asking, he said to ask you if you could try to add the dates of the Battlefield opening and closing on your data download thread.
People have asked me this before. Yeah. For Battlefield, I mean, many events don't even have their start date in the client-side database, but they do have it in the server-side database. And it's even worse for JP. They have even less start dates in their database. So sometimes I have to look into missions associated to the events to figure out when they start.
Mm-hmm.
Like as data miners, like we can figure out a lot of stuff that way. But unfortunately, like events like Battlefield or even Chain Battle, we have nothing that helps us determine what's the start date in the client-side database.
I was gonna say you guys probably only figure that out once maybe like the news in game drops, right? Like the celebration details and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, Chain Battle starting this day. And
that's the only way, because they have some of the tables are not present in the client-side database, and some of those tables are like absolutely crucial to understand when an event starts and ends. And for Battlefield and Chain Battle, those tables are simply not in the client database; they're in the server side. So we can't do anything about it. We can only show you what the missions are,
mm-hmm.
and say that it's coming, but we're kind of stuck saying that those events are coming, but can't provide an exact date for it. Like the start and end dates for those two game modes are in the server-side database, and that's it. Like there's no way around it. Like I've seen that request multiple times, but I can't do anything.
Yeah, hey, that's understandable. You know, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah. There's nothing that suggests when Battlefield starts. Nothing. Only like the news and an announcement
mm-hmm.
that reveals it. Otherwise, we're kind of stuck. We just know it's happening.
Gotcha. Well, we have the next one is kind of a little request from Majin Queen on Twitter. She told you she said that you should grind more on your account.
I'll try. I can't promise anything. Well, you know, part of it is I don't really grind that much because, you know, part of it is that I don't want to rush to max rank
mm-hmm.
and feel sad that I will never get a free stamina refill ever again. But I have to admit, it's mostly laziness. It's not really.
Trust me, I'm right there with you. My JP is only at level 900 and my global is 999. So
Yeah,
I'm basically restarting the grind on JP right now because 900 to 999 is basically the grind from level 1 to 900.
Yeah, I really don't want to rush to max rank because of it, but yeah, I do admit that uh, it's kind of my way of playing the game. I'm just lazy. I'm just lazy with everything. Sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. And then, so this is actually going to be a question from me.
That was Majin Queen, right?
Yeah, that was Majin Queen.
Bisou.
So I actually have a question myself. So we answered all the Twitter questions. We answered the Discord questions. I have a question now for you.
Oh.
And it pertains to link leveling.
Link leveling.
So we actually did discuss this in Discord one time, but I figure, you know what, we're already doing the video, we're talking about it, we may as well, you know,
might as well include it.
May as well include it in here.
I can't remember the actual conversation, but keep going.
There was a lot of it. But so when it comes to link leveling, okay, so when you go into a stage, so say we're going into stage 31-4, you know, it's got four guaranteed fights in there. When you enter that stage, it automatically already calculates which link is going to level up, correct? Depending on which enemy you're fighting.
Correct.
So
depending on the battle you clear, yeah.
So depending on the battle you clear, you will get possibly a link level up. But does it? So when you enter into the stage, does it basically go through and roll a dice for every unit's links per fight?
Yeah,
like
it does.
So like, you know, we go into stage 31-4 and you have 6 units, all of them are randomized links. When you go into that first fight, or as soon as you load into the stage, does it say like, hey, your very first fight against Tien and Chaozu there, unit 2 link 4 is going to be the one that's going to level up?
That's exactly how it goes. Yeah.
Is that exactly how it is?
Yeah, it's tied to that specific battle, and you have to clear that battle in order to get that link. Yeah, or those links. It might be more than one.
Because it could be multiple. Yeah, but it does actually.
And it's calculated. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's calculated like that because once you enter the stage, you can just turn off your internet and keep doing it, because at that point you already have all the information you need for that stage. You can just clear the stage and turn it back on when you finish the stage, the internet. So, well, your Wi-Fi, 4G or 5G or whatever, it works like that for everything in the game, I guess. Like once you enter something, you already have all the information on your side. You can just do it, and you just need to connect to the servers to give them the result of your run once you're done with the stage.
Okay, so it is like that then. So whenever, but it only rolls. So obviously, like say we'll say Beast Gohan, you're gonna run in, you're gonna do the fight. It only calculates for just the links he currently has. So it's not going to be like, hey, you know, he's got Gaze of Respect, and you know you have a guaranteed fight that's going to go from 1 to 2. It's not going to go from 2 to 3 in a different fight, correct?
Correct. You can't level a link more than one time per run.
One time per run.
Yeah. Imagine the calculations you would have to do, like to do multiple links. You already have enough calculations to do multiple links. Imagine if you had to calculate if the link goes from 2 to 3 to 3 to 4, from 4 to 5. Like, it would be insane. Like, it's a good call on their part that you only leave link level once every link per run at most, because the calculations behind that, if you had to do it like that, they would be insane. So yeah, only one link level run.
So does it like, so whenever you enter that stage, does it basically like roll a dice to be like, hey, this unit on this fight may get a link, and then it rolls every single, like a dice for every single link to determine if it'll level up or not. Is that kind of how it calculates?
It rolls for the link, and then it rolls for the if the link levels up or not. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, hopefully that'll kind of help answer some of the people's questions that they had about link level. Because link leveling, I mean, we didn't know much about it. You know what I mean? You just kind of hopped in, you fought as many as you could. Because what was it? Stage 20? Was it 23? 23-2 or 23-1 or whatever it was? 22-4. I can't.
23-8, I think it was.
23-8. That's what it was. Because people would run that stage, you know, back in the day before auto and everything, and that was because there were so many fights there. But the problem was there were so many Cybermen, and there was so many like different paths that you could go.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was so terrible because you could be like, my one link level 10 might be on the left path, and it's the one Cyberman there. But there's 4 fights over here on the right. Maybe it's one of those, and you go the right path, and there's nothing.
And that's and at some point in time we didn't even know that. We just thought it was calculated at the time, like as you were running the stage, it was being calculated. That it's not even that. We would choose paths based on the number of fights we had there to have a better probability to link level. But the reality is we probably missed multiple, like hundreds, maybe thousands of link levels. Choosing the wrong path, even though it had the most fights.
Yep.
Those other paths, maybe with less fights, had more link levels associated with each battle. So yeah.
And I guess the other worst part was, it wasn't like you still have to roll the dice every single time. So you might have 4 or 5 paths or 4 or 5 fights on one side, but then you get that one dice that's like a 5 and a 6, and you miss all those fights anyway.
Oh yeah. That was also an issue. Yeah.
So I'm glad
you really needed to play the dice well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that they did change it up and actually give us link level, like quest mode stages, to where it is automatic and you can just go through, and there's only 4 guaranteed fights. Granted, they probably could add a couple more in. Maybe they might do it in the future. Who knows? But
they might. Yeah.
But as of now, I mean, 31-4 is a good link level stage because you get both
and
blue
they
and
thought
green
about
gems
it
too.
And you can tell they thought about it because like they're all stop sign fights, and you usually get the training item.
Yeah, to make sure that you go that path.
To make sure that the AI chooses that path.
Yep.
So you go into the guaranteed fight section, you know. So yeah, you can tell they fought that well, I guess.
Yep. And then, do you think that they're ever gonna make any of these like actual link level stages? Kind of like, you know, like the Metal Cooler stage that we got, like the Zamasu link level stage, the one that we currently have on JP. Do you think they'll ever make them permanent? Even like a once a week type of thing?
Maybe once a week. I don't think they will ever like do it like every day, because they usually reserve that to special occasions, and quite honestly, that would probably destroy their idea of getting like the link skill,
like the skill ore balls and the keys.
Yeah, the skill ore balls, and all that. So that idea was like, you get that and you get stones. You just spend a little bit for this and a little bit for that, you know.
Or you're gonna monetize you for everything.
Yeah, we have to think like they will probably do that for big celebrations, but they won't do it for like
everyday type of thing.
Every type of thing, because like, you know, they have to make money, and that's one of the ways they make money. So yeah.
I mean, honestly, what I think they should do, because we do have some, you know, pretty useless events right now, like training with Corin,
Is that even still a thing?
That is still a thing. Yeah, the training with Corin, the fight in the sky or whatever, like those events are still around. They never revamped those yet. They could revamp that, like the the fight in the sky or whatever it is, like revamp that to where you get what is it, like say you could, they can revamp that to where you can maybe get a higher probability of a Link level, but it's not, maybe not make it as good as like the Roshi stage that we currently have, but at least least still make it at least, you know, a little bit better to where you can at least run it like once a day, maybe kind of like how you how you do now.
I see what you're saying, like at least better than a quest mode stage, for example.
Yeah, and you can, you know, run it just once a day, every day. Kind of like the training in the tower or whatever the event is called. Like how we have that now, you can run it one time a day. I mean, the rewards aren't that good, but at least make it to where, hey, you can get a guaranteed training item, a location, and a...
Yeah, at least make it worthwhile, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe also revamp like the medal stage, where, because you have all those medal ones. Revamp it to where like you can get X amount of this, X amount of this, X amount of this, X amount of this, and make it to where like we can farm up these damn Elder Kai medals.
Yeah.
I don't know why
those are
so
the rarest. Yeah,
they are so stingy with those Elder Kai medals, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, and they're like the most requested. That, well, obviously you can buy everything else, but those are the ones you really want.
Yeah, because three out of the 5 typings require those Elder Kai medals to awaken the units if you want to do like free farmable super attacks.
Yeah, Supreme Kais I have like in the thousands, and Elder Kais I have like 200 or something.
Yeah, under 100.
Yeah, something like that. It's insane.
Well, Mr. Proton, that's all the questions that I have for you. Do you have any for me?
No, I'm good, man. I gotta go watch a football game.
You gotta go watch a football game. Understandable. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you being on this video. Us finally getting a chance to actually, you know, talk on here together.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Awesome. So, hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Get that, but... Hey! Hey! До свидания!